Welcome back to Tales from the Vale, where the whispers of history become stories. Tonight, we journey to the mist-shrouded fjords of ancient Norway, to a time of longships and legends, of steel and sorcery. This is the tale of Ingrid, the Shadow Witch, and Bjorn, the Unchained Bear. Ingrid was no ordinary woman. While others learned to weave wool, she learned to weave shadows. While they sang songs of hearth and home, she chanted runes that could calm the wind or curdle milk. Her village feared her, but they also respected her power. Her eyes held the depth of a winter's night, and it was said she could walk between the worlds, her feet touching both the soil of Midgard and the ethereal dust of the spirit realm. Then there was Bjorn, a warrior of immense size and strength. He was a force of nature, but a curse flowed through his veins, the fury of the Berserker. When the battle rage took him, he became the Unchained Bear, unable to tell friend from foe. He was a hero in battle, but a monster in the aftermath, waking from his trance surrounded by devastation, his heart shattered by the memory of what his own hands had done. His life was a lonely one, a cycle of glory and guilt. One fateful day, after a brutal raid, Bjorn's rage turned upon his own clan. He was a whirlwind of destruction, his eyes wild and unseeing. The warriors, his shield brothers, fell back, unable to stop him without killing him. As chaos reigned, Ingrid stepped forward. The villagers cried out, certain she would be torn apart. But Ingrid did not carry a weapon. She carried only shadows. She began to chant, her voice a low, melodic hum that cut through the screams and the clash of steel. The air grew thick and heavy, and shadows, long and sinuous, detached themselves from the longhouse, the rocks, the very ground itself. They writhed like serpents, coiling not around Bjorn, but around Ingrid herself. Bjorn roared and charged, his axe raised. But as he swung, the shadows clinging to Ingrid lashed out. They didn't stop his axe, they flowed around it, wrapping around his arm, his shoulders, his very being. They weren't solid, yet they held him fast. They did not cause pain, but a deep, chilling cold that seeped into his bones, quenching the fire of his rage. He struggled, a mighty bear caught in a phantom net. The red mist in his eyes began to clear. He saw Ingrid standing before him, her face calm, her eyes locked with his. The shadows that held him were tethered to her own shadow, stretching and distorting as she stood unmoving. He wasn't just trapped, he was bound to her. The rage subsided, leaving only an exhausted, broken man. Bjorn fell to his knees, the axe slipping from his grasp. The village was silent, watching in awe and terror. Ingrid had not defeated the Berserker. She had tamed the storm within him. She had bound his monstrous fury to her own shadow. From that day on, Bjorn was never far from Ingrid's side. He became her guardian, her protector. In battle, he still fought with the strength of 10 men, but the uncontrollable rage was gone. When he felt the fury begin to rise, he would look to Ingrid and see the flicker of darkness in her shadow, a constant, silent reminder of their bond. He was no longer the Unchained Bear, but the shadow-bound warrior. Their story became a legend whispered around campfires. It was a tale of how the deepest darkness can be controlled not by force, but by a different kind of power. Ingrid, the witch, did not cure Bjorn's curse. She shared its burden. She bound his monster not in chains of iron, but in threads of shadow, proving that sometimes the only way to conquer a demon is to give it a keeper. Thank you for joining us on Tales from the Vale. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more stories from the edge of history. Until next time, listen closely to the whispers in the shadows.